Okay, go.
The other silent killer, cancer. Maybe you guys heard of the primary silent killer, the heart attacks that affects every American, but have many of you guys heard of colon cancer? Colon cancer is the #2 killer in the United States. Many people die from it, and it can happen to anyone. You might ask yourselves, why should I care? I'm only 18 or something. But as I said earlier, this can happen to anyone. Picture this. Picture this. Go to the side. Sorry about this. A man wakes up one day with the perfect family. He's made out his life to do everything he wanted to do. He was successful. He has a beautiful wife. He has 2 kids. He has the perfect family. He also has his beautiful, perfect home. No worries, no cares like we have cares. He even has one of the most expensive cars in the world. But one day he wakes up feeling a little sick, and he's like, it's whatever. He starts noticing he gets a little skinnier. He's a little losing weight without noticing why he's losing weight. Then he starts feeling change in bowel movements and starts feeling a little sick. But like we men, you know that we don't like going to the doctors. We're like, whatever, doctors are for girls or something. We're men, we're strong men. Why do we need to go to the doctor? Then a while passed, and he keeps seeing more and more things happen to him. So he starts getting scared. So he starts researching, and he decides to go to the doctors. The doctors do a series of tests on him, and then they say, I think you have something wrong with your colon. We're going to have to do a colonoscopy on you. Colonoscopy is when they stick a long tube into the rectal area and they examine your insides. So obviously he was a little scared. He was like, why would I do this? I don't want to do this. So he ends up going and does this procedure. When he does this procedure, the doctor says, you have cancer. Before I finish the story, I'm going to introduce you to what is the colon. The colon is part of your digestive system. It's found in the digestive system, and it removes water and nutrients from the food. Without our colon, we don't get the nutrition that we need. So the cancer basically takes up the nutrients and keeps growing and growing, and you end up losing weight because you're not getting the nourishment that you need. Then, colon cancer is basically when the cells in your colon, called polyps, decide that they don't want to die anymore. The whole process of cancer is when a cell goes from just going through its life, doing its function that it needs to do, and then it dies, called apoptosis. Then, if it doesn't die, the cell it tells it to die, and if it doesn't, it starts to keep going bigger and bigger, forming a tumor. The age group that are diagnosed with this is 0% under 20. So we were all happy. We're like, all right, cool. We don't need to worry. It's where most of us are under 20. We don't have to worry about this. 0 to 9% are from 20 to 34. Still, pretty good percent. You don't have to worry. 3.5% is between 35 and 44, and 10.9% is between 45 and 54. This is when you should really start paying attention to your body. If you start feeling sick, you should go to the doctors, because the primary thing that you need to know is the early stages of cancer cause no pain. So you might be perfectly fine, but you really aren't. Inside you is a deadly killer waiting to happen, waiting to destroy you and your family's lives. 90% of the people are diagnosed after 50, and if you have your family history, have colon problems, you're most likely to get it too. The mortality rate. 0% die from under 20, which is really good. But as you can see, as it goes bigger and bigger, 14% to 55 to 44, 7% of the people, and 31% of 75 or 84 or above. Most of this is between our parents and our grandparents. And do you want to have your grandparent or your parent die from such a horrible disease, I wouldn't want that to happen. It already happened. So you want to have people, you want to check up and make sure you know everything that you possibly can in order to protect them. Symptoms. As I explained to you in the story, the symptoms are minor. These symptoms can also be regular common flu symptoms. So how can you tell that you have colon cancer? This is just basically regular symptoms you get anywhere. Abdominal pain, tenderness in the lower abdomen, blood in the stool, diarrhea, constipation, change in bowel habits, weight loss with no apparent reason. This happens all the time with flu. If you get the flu, this happens to you. If you get a virus, this happens to you. But take it seriously when you're above 50, because this could be something more serious. Frequency. In 2006, just recently, 148,610 people were diagnosed with colon cancer. This is astonishing. 55,000 people died from it. That is amazing how many people died from it, and that could be someone's loved one. In 2011, 141,000 people were diagnosed and 49,000 people died from it. It's going down lower and lower as we go through preventions and more people start being scared and nervous and finding out what's wrong with them. Stages. Stage 0 is very early. Everything between stage 0 and 1 is easily curable. You can go to doctors, they operate on you, and you're fine. Once you go to stage 2, 3, and 4, that's when it gets more complicated, when you go into your colostomies. That's where it goes to, you have to get chemotherapy after everything. Stage 4 is once it's to a point where it's spread through your lymph nodes and your organs, and it's basically over. Unless God is with you. This is a picture showing the different stages of cancer. Stage 1, it's still inside, easily curable. Stage 2 is also inside, but it starts getting more complicated. Stage 3, it bursts through the wall of the colon. And stage 4, it spreads throughout the whole body. And when it goes to the rest of the body, that's when it starts affecting the other organs, and that's when you go to the point where it's no return. But what happens next? What happened to the guy that was diagnosed with cancer? Well, this guy, he decided, I'm going to go through the process. I want to be one of those survivors. I don't want to be another person who dies. I don't want to leave my family behind. I'm going to take that prevention. I'm going to go get surgery. I'm going to succeed in life. I'm going to be one of those survivors. Those survivors that not many people have the chance to survive, but he had the opportunity. So him and his wife decided to go get him surgery. After surgery, he goes through an intensive 1-year process of chemotherapy, and after that, he gets better. Sorry. And when praying for the healing, ask great things of God and expect great things from God. But let us seek for that healing that really matters, the healing of the heart, enabling us to trust God simply, face God honestly, and live triumphantly.